Hello and welcome to Raven's Arcana. I am Raven. It's your daily tarot reading. So we are looking for messages from the tarot on what we need to focus on, what we need to work on, what we need to work through in our self-development. As we sit and perform introspection on ourselves, on our personality, and how we interact with other people and with the world. And let's get down to business. So we start this reading off with the Three of Hearts. And if we're talking about introspection, self-analyzation, we've had traumatic events in our past that have led to heartbreak, heartache, and we carry that with us. And those swords, because we've had those traumatic events, we communicate in a certain manner to other people. We're carrying that burden with us from those events that have conditioned us to behave in a certain way in our relationships. And the King of Cups is going to signify the need to take control of your emotions, to have that ultimate authority over your emotional balance, to manage it, right? We can't go back and change what has happened to us that hit us right in the heart. What we can do as we're learning about ourselves and learning why we feel certain ways about certain situations, about relationships, whether they be romantic or with friends, colleagues, family, we want to make sure that we're embracing those people for their uniqueness. Just because they might carry or project some of those certain traits of the people that have hurt us in the past, or remind us of the events that occurred that help to shape the way we address relationships and people, we want to make sure we give everyone a chance. We want to make sure that we are embracing them with authentic, true compassion, free from any of those events. Now, it is important to protect yourself, right? With the swords would signify that you are protecting yourself from getting hurt. You want to be careful about how you emote, what you say, what you divulge to certain people so you don't get hurt. You don't have that heartache, that heartbreak. And as we move on, we have the Sun. And the Sun is that Leo energy, that spark in us that animates us, our passion center, our desires. We are social beings. We want to share our experiences. We want to share the things that we love, that we find joy in, that make us happy, that make us laugh with other people. We want to let our light shine bright. We don't want it to be dimmed by past traumatic events. So the King of Cups is telling you to be mindful, be aware of your emotions and how you feel and work through those. Why did you act that way? Why did you respond a certain way? Why did you feel this way? Is it dimming your light? Is it not allowing you to be your true self and express how you really feel. Say what is really on your mind without having that shadow over your, cloaking your real thoughts and emotions. And if we're talking about introspection, as the Four of Swords shows up, in this instance, we need to do some work. This is some meditation, right? And if we're talking about self-analyzation, the Four of Swords, at least in the minor arcana, is going to signify meditation. Thinking through things, thinking why you feel a certain way. And once again, how you are interacting with other people. So you definitely have events you can't erase from your past that you do carry forward with you. You want to have control over your emotions. You want to be guarded and protect yourself from getting hurt. But you want to be able to work through those and understand them. And manage that pendulum swing of the spectrum of emotions, but you also want to be your true, passionate self. You want your light to shine bright from your heart and attract those that need to be around you, that you need to connect with, that you need to share information with and have experiences with. But it's going to take a little bit of time to work through. And we'll call it, as I typically do, excess baggage. It's a time for rest. It's a time for relaxation, for meditation, for introspection. And that's what this reading is kind of all about here. Now, over to the left of the Three of Swords, we have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is quick moving, quick thinking, quick fire thoughts. And I think this ties in to the events that have happened to us in the past. Our mind takes over, once again with the sword in that protective mode, and almost replaces our intuition as we are perceiving people's words, people's emotion, their energy, how they carry themselves, what triggers our memory of the traumatic events that allow those emotions to bubble up. And we say things, we do things, we think a certain way really quickly, that knee-jerk reaction, without working through in that moment, hey, this person isn't the same person that hurt me. This situation, this event, it's probably not going to end up the way the other one did. This is a totally different experience, a totally different relationship. Now, we obviously want to look for signs. We want to be wise. And if there's evidence in there that we're working through that points to a path that leads to, heartache, heartbreak, and everything, absolutely protect yourself. But I think in this instance, you're jumping the gun on this. You are not allowing yourself to experience certain moments with people. Really show your true loving self to others because you're being overprotective. And the mind gets in the way. It's all about self-preservation. And when we're talking about balancing the emotions, we have to balance that with our mind, with our logical self, that left and right brain. We can't just come at it on one side or from one side or the other. And to get some clarification for this, yeah, we talked about intuition. And we have the high priestess here underneath that quick fire, that knee-jerk process of thinking that we have because of those events in the past that we carry with us. That has replaced our intuition because we are jaded. We have allowed our psyche to be conditioned, to be programmed to think that anybody that says this a certain way, does this a certain way, has a reaction that is similar to something that you experienced in your past that you have suppressed, we remove them. We shut it down. And that's not real intuition. That's self-preservation once again. So we need to tap into, as we're doing our introspection, as we're analyzing ourselves, we need to find our true intuition. And not everyone we meet is going to be a good fit for us, whether they're a friend or a partner. But I think because of these events and because we haven't worked through them, we're missing out on a lot of experiences that would really feed in to our sunlight, right? Underneath the Three of Hearts, that heartache, that event, those events that are traumatic, that we're carrying forward with us, that we haven't worked through, we have the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups can also be intuition, but it is that childlike giddiness. I use the word giddiness a lot. Those emotions when we meet someone new. That feeling that comes over you, those butterflies. That spark, right? When you see someone else's sunlight, if it's a friend, a new person that you had a conversation with, you want to make sure that you're allowing yourself to experience that moment without the shadow of the Three of Swords. As we're going under the King of Cups, we have the Ten of Swords. And this is a need to completely allow the portion of ourselves that gets in there, that meddles, sometimes without us even knowing. Our subconscious, our unconscious takes over and is almost devious and kind of derails moments in time for us. Conversations, connections with people. Now, it is coming from a safe space, coming from a space of self-preservation, wanting to protect you. Your mind works that way. Your spirit, your soul works that way. You want to exist. You only want to be in moments that bring you joy and happiness and allow you to be that person that is just burning so bright, and attract others and bring them in and experience life with people that have that same, thought, emotion, or able to tap into like their true passion. The Ten of Swords is telling you to allow that portion of yourself that is disruptive, those disruptive thoughts, we're talking about the swords, to die and fade away. It is not serving you. You want to be logical. You want to be reasonable. You want to be able to communicate well and analyze things. But you don't want to be over analytical. You don't want to have destructive thoughts that derail current relationships and future relationships. We want to be the person that manages our emotions, pairs those with our thoughts, where it feels fresh, where it feels new, where it feels authentic, where we are ever evolving and not pulling those events from our past that cast a shadow on all of our experiences. Underneath the Sun card, we have the King of Pentacles. And this is someone that this is telling you to build solid relationships. You have control over everything that is inside of you and everything that you experience. This is telling you, with the King of Pentacles, that you will find people that have that same passion, that are in touch with everything, and also have worked through traumatic events. You can't avoid those. You can't erase them. This is all about grounding and building relationships. You know, the King of Pentacles is almost the entrepreneur of relationships. That person that's always successful. Builds empires. You want to build an empire of your soul family. You want to take on the world and have experiences and share information and help each other. And if you're carrying all of this with you, these events, that shadow self, if you will, that is destructive, that whispers in your ear, those thoughts, hey, don't do that. Don't trust them. You know, if it's intuition doing that, separate that out and absolutely pay attention. But we know we have a destructive part of our psyche. And it's because we haven't worked through and we don't realize what's happening when those emotions, when those thoughts bubble to the surface. So 2 kings here, having control, having management, having authority over yourself, being able to reset, right? The pentacles are the earth, to ground yourself. And that also comes with meditation. Underneath our 4 of Swords card, we have the Devil. And the Devil is going to signify us meditating to remove those habits, those bindings to old events that continue us on, that allow us to continue on a path. And self-destruction came into my mind. Now, self-destructive behavior in this instance, I don't think it's overindulgence in any kind of drug, alcohol, anything like that. But self-destructive behavior and habits can be when things start to get joyful for you, you think it's too good to be true. When you hear good news, you immediately think there's some ulterior motive behind it. There's no way someone can be that happy, right? That too good to be true. And I think this has to do with your thinking and with your emotions and what you have carried with you through your life post, traumatic events. I mean, we're talking about PTSD. It occurs with all of us. Some of our events are more traumatic than others that include, loss and death. But we have to deal and we have to move on. We have to persevere. We can't just have those knee-jerk reactions. We have to listen to our intuition. We can't expect every single thing is going to be heartache, so we don't participate in loving relationships. We don't bring new friends in. We don't date, We want to be open to new relationships. We want to have a balanced, well-managed emotional spectrum. We're able to experience the entire swing in a managed way. We don't want to limit ourselves. We want to destroy. If we're talking about self-destruction, the self-destruction we need to focus on is that part of our psyche, of our personality, that pulls that shadow over, that puts those blinders on, that builds those barriers, probably without you even being conscious of it, that don't allow your relationships to become fruitful, to move forward, to bring in new people. We want to let our light shine. We want to let our spark. In a previous reading, I said our music. We want to let our music come out. We want to share our music with others. We want them to hear it. And we want to remain grounded. We want to be in control. We want to build strong relationships, lasting relationships, even repair them as we're working through this. And as we are performing the introspection, as we are meditating, as we're resting our mind so true thoughts can flow in, we remove the chaos. We also want to remove those bindings to bad behavior and bad habits. And in this instance, it's that this is too good to be true. This person seems like the person that hurt me in the past. This event feels weird. I don't want to overextend my emotions so someone can hurt me. If they know too much about me, then they can use it against me. All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. If you dig the video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed and you also dig the content, you can subscribe to the channel. You can also hit the notification bell to get alerts when I release new material. And yeah, take care of yourself and have an amazing day.